this week's top trending comic books for the second week of June. Would you believe we're already at the second week of June? We got some returning favorites, technically, and we have some surprise hits. So we're looking at the four that we're looking at now. Shane, what can you tell me?
Well, the first one, I always usually buy the A cover, but I didn't that time. I bought a different cover for Power Lift. So I'm missing that one. I think my store did have it, but it was $15 or something like that. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. The second one, I believe that's going to be the second print. I actually have two of the originals I have a pile right in front of me here to go to CGC to take advantage of that new bulk shipping thing. And the G.I. Joe, I didn't pick up that one. I did see it. And World to Come was pushed at our store. We didn't get any. Well, we didn't get any books, but I don't think anybody in the area actually got them.
Interesting. So we'll talk a little bit about the World to Come Marvel Knights. Obviously, Miles Morales, the first appearance, Power Lift. We got the Wolverine issue number 8. We'll talk a little bit more about that. The G.I. Joe one, obviously, Negative Space is always popular. But before we even talk about any of those books, we got to talk about our honorable mentions, starting with some interesting classics, I'll say. The Amazing Spider-Man 301. Not only 301 made this list, actually 299 also made the list. Both are classic McFarlane covers. Both of them have to deal with the return of Spider-Man and Venom and the first appearance of Venom. Do you know anything? I know the reason why I made the list, but do you have any idea why I made the list?
No, because I just saw that now, and it's ironic because I was telling you that I recorded like 10 videos today that'll all be scheduled out in the future, but one of them was the McFarlane run, just going over the covers and talking the story from 298 all the way to 328 and Amazing. And I have this book, I think it's a 9.4 or a 9.6, I can't remember now, but it just came back. But yeah, I don't know. I'm waiting to hear though. I can't wait.
So it turns out our good friend over on YouTube, Mr. Comic Tom, had an interview with Todd McFarlane this week. And he was talking a little bit about these books. Specifically, he was talking more so about 299 being the first appearance of Venom. That seemed to gain attraction. And people started gravitating towards these books again. And quite largely because even though they're up there in price, they're still kind of affordable in that way, where it's like it's at an all-time low right now. So people are starting to pick this one. This one's being the lightest one because there is no Venom in this book. This is just a return of the red and blue costume. As you can see right by the cover, it says Silver Sable is back. So they just, 300 came and went, and now we're back. And this time he's doing the red costume, which is something that Todd always wanted to do. He didn't have a problem with the black costume, but he always wanted to do the red and blue costume, the classic costume. And in this particular instance, he did a little bit of modification with the costume where he made the eyes bigger. This is the first time we get to see Spider-Man with larger eyes. And it's kind of a look that stuck. It definitely has stuck. We get the small eyes every so often, but for the most part, a lot of artists now, they pick and choose which version they want to do. And in some cases, they even do it where the eyes actually move, and they took advantage of that within the MCU movies. So that's something that's pretty cool that we get to see now. But that's the reason for Amazing Spider-Man. The next book is The Storm, Jeff DeCall variant that we talked about before. We actually talked about this book last week. So this book did come out last week. This is the 1 in 25 variant of Storm issue number 9. And I knew it. I was like, this book's a banger, man. And it is just like Storm just looking tough, man.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a great cover. And I remember this now because I was sad to hear it was a 1 in 25.
Yeah, I remember we talked a little bit about that as well. And then finally, Uncanny X-Men 221, the first appearance of Mr. Sinister. Another book that's been getting a little bit of traction because there are rumors now that and that's all they are. They are just rumors that Mr. Sinister is going to be the first villain that the X-Men are going to deal with. Where these rumors come from, I don't know. Just someone just throwing it up, saying, "Hey, it's got to be Mr. Sinister." It doesn't have to be Mr. Sinister, but we've seen all the other ones. We haven't really seen Sinister. People want to see a live action version of Sinister, so there's a little bit of buzz around it. There's nothing solid right now until they say this is the villain. He's not the villain.
Be careful what you wish for in that case, because Mr. Sinister can easily go from being super cheesy and silly looking to being awesome. And obviously, as an X-Men fan, I want him to be awesome. So I really hope they get it right.
Yeah, and then with a look like Sinister, yeah, you're not going to get the sharp teeth. It's probably not going to work out that way. You know what I mean? But we'll see what we get. I'm looking forward to it. I don't think we're going to see a Sinister here to maybe 4 years, I'll say, give or take. But who's know? Anyway, let's go into our list, starting with number 10. It's Marvel Knight, The World to Come, the 1 in 25 Simone DeMille variant. This book came out last week from Marvel Comics. The last recorded sale of this book is $17 near mint. Fair market value of this book is $22 near mint, with $110 going for 9.8 pre-sales. It is number 6 in Covrprice. The 30-day sale is 28 sales. Hype level of this book is at a high, not because of this one, but because what's contained inside. So we're going to talk a little bit more about this book, but let's get started with this cover, right? This is a 1 in 25, and out of all the books that came out, this is probably the least expensive out of all of them. So, did you get to hear the story behind this book?
Yeah, so I actually went into the store last week before I knew that they didn't have books. And so they told me, and then I went over because I'd heard the story, and I was going through the Avengers looking for whatever it is, 79 or 84 or whatever one. And he's like, if you're looking for that Avengers from the news this week, it's not there. So he knew I was already looking for it.
So what's the purpose behind the Avengers book for those that don't know?
So there's 2 women that were in the Avengers books, and I can't remember for sure, but I think it was 79 and possibly 84. 2 different women that supposedly the Black Panther, excuse me, had a child with. And these children are part of this book that's out at number 10.
Yes. And by the way, sorry, you're gonna see this. It's gonna say it's Marvel Knights, not Marvel Knight. So I missed the S, but I didn't really catch it. But it's no big deal. That one's not that big of a deal.
We'll forgive you.
Yeah. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Yeah, the story behind this story has been getting front page news. I don't want to talk about it just yet because I know we're going to be talking about it at length a little bit later. But I will say this much: this story has attracted mainstream as well as the comic book world. All I know is I'm watching one of the shows that I like to watch, Chris Harloff, who does a lot of movie reviews and things like that. And he was talking about this story. And if it gets to him, that must mean something, because there is a meme going on, which I'll talk about it when we get back to the other books in this list. But we're going to be talking a lot about Marvel Knights today. This is just the first thing that we're going to talk about. So I'm going to fast forward a little bit and get to our next book at number 9, and that's Mark Spears' Monsters number 3. This is the standard regular cover. This came out in 2025 for Keen Spot. Last recorded sale of this book, $6 near mint. Fair market value is $6. 9/8 are going for $54. It came out number 9 in Covrprice with 83 sales during the 30-day period. Hype level, I gotta say, is a low. There's not really much buzz other than it's a cool Frankenstein cover, but it doesn't have that same attraction as all the other books seem to have, especially with this price, because this is just the regular edition. So people want the book. It's easy to get. No big deal, to be completely honest. It's nothing extremely special about the book.
Yeah, I'm still looking for. I think I started getting it at 4 or 5, so I'm still looking for these early issues, and I'll get them in reprints or whatever. Like I'm so far past missing the boat on these original issues that I'll just pick up the ones that I can for a reasonable price, and then I'll grab the trade when it comes out.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that. I do enjoy it. I really like it. The art is amazing and the covers are great. So I got nothing bad to say about it.
Yeah. And it, like I said, it is Frankenstein on an electric chair. So why not, right?
Yeah.
So okay. At number 8, Miles Morales 33. This is the Terrence Clark variant 2025 Marvel Comics. Last recorded sale of this book was $25 near mint. Fair market value of this book is $20 near mint. No recorded slabs at the moment. Number 10 in Covrprice. The 30-day sales is 68 sales with a hype level of a medium. This is pretty much a holdover from last week. I guess people are still buying the book. But, of course, at number 8, it probably won't be here next week. And we talked a little bit about Power Lift. As I said last week, Miles is finally getting villains.
Yeah. And ideally, again, we talk about it and I talk about it all the time in my videos. I really want to see some development. Let's forget about tying everything up in 5 issues and start to have stuff that's going to be spread over 10, 20, 30 issues. This is Miles. He's not going anywhere. His title shouldn't go anywhere. He's a good character. Let's start planning things out a few years out and build the story up.
Yeah, because sooner or later, we're going to get live action Miles. And with live action Miles, he's going to need some kind of a rogue gallery of villains to go, fight. And they shouldn't be Spider-Man's villains. That's part of the problem that we're having with Miles, is that he doesn't really have his core set of villains. This is a good opportunity to have one. She's just a beast, you know what I'm saying? Called Power Lift. I think you could do something really cool with that. So I'm looking forward to seeing what the future holds for Miles, especially with these new villains that they might be generating. So with that, let's go to number 7 in our list, and that is Wolverine number 8. This is the second print, 1 in 25, Daniel Warren Johnson Virgin variant. This book came out last week, 220. It came out 2025 for Marvel Comics. $90 near mint was the last recorded sale, with the fair market value of $79 near mint. 9.8s are already pre-selling for $155. This book came in number 5 for CBSI. It's on a 30-day sales of 61 copies being sold, and that's really all in this week. The hype level is at a medium right now for this book. I don't think this one was... Of course, people want this cover because they want to have the Virgin, but it's a lot of it has to do with people speculating on 1 in 25s.
Yeah, I agree. I was just going to say that, ratios. You're betting against the house when you play the ratio game, and this one, I don't know. I think it'll come back down. You can easily get the first print, like the original cover, for that price. I mean, it's not a Virgin cover, but it still looks great. I don't know.
And it's not that much different though, to be honest. The Virgin variant. So you got rid of the lettering in the back of his head, and you got rid of the little trade dress in the bottom. It's not that big of a deal, guys. I understand how people love Virgin variant, so I get that. But the 1 in 25 aspect of it, it's kind of like when we talked about Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, same kind of scene.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't pay that kind of money, myself personally.
No.
If you want to, that's your money. You do what you want with your money. But honestly, I'm happy with the one I have.
Yeah, I'd wait on this one.
And at number 6, Absolute Batman number 1, 2024 DC Comics, $39 near mint is the last recorded sale. The fair market value of this book is $29 near mint. It is $92 at a 9.8. Somehow this book was number 1 in Key Collector, and that's how it even got into this list. The 30-day sales is 80 sales within the 30-day period, so obviously it's dropped off. I put this at a hype level of a medium because it did get that number 1 spot in Key Collector. However, take this with a grain of salt, and my honest opinion is there's nothing about this book right now that makes it the number 1 book of the week. That's my personal opinion, and nothing against the guys at Key Collector, but I don't understand their numbering system. I said this before. I don't understand their trending system, how it works. And this is one of those occasions where it's like, is Absolute Batman #1 really the hottest book of the week? Because I don't think it is.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. It's a good book, and maybe there is sales, and that's something because people are still interested in picking it up because the Absolute series is still firing on all cylinders. It's really good,
Mhm.
but #1, no, there's other books.
Yeah, and like I said, we talked about we're already talking about these books. Why would this book that would have been #1 and was #1 months ago now cannot seem to come back and be #1 on the key collector list? It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. 80-day sales, obviously, I get that part, but to make it the #1 book when you have all these other books that are just even more trendy than this one, I doubt if this is truly trending. That's just my personal opinion. Um, and that's the reason why I make these lists, because I want to see it across multiple platforms. For those who don't know, I like to look at all the trending lists, not just one. I like to do comparisons between them. There's three major ones: Key Collector, CBSI, and Covrprice. I do those comparisons. I put the numbers together. I check what the fair market value is. I check what the 30-day sales are. And then that also generates whatever the hype is for this book. I put this as a medium because it did hit #1, but it's not a high that everybody's running out to get this book. Most people have this book already. 400,000 copies. Most people have this book already.
Yeah.
Moving on to #5, and that is G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero, issue 317. This is the 1 in 10 Francis Portela camouflage variant featuring Scarlet. This book came out in 2025 for Image Comics. The last recorded sale of this book is at $30. $36 is the fair market value for a near mint, $100 for 9.8, and that's also pre-sale. This came in #4 for CBSI and #4 for Covrprice, with a 30-day sales of 59 sales. Hype level of this book is a medium. It's another one of those great negative space covers.
Yeah, and not John Tyler Christopher this time, but a great cover. I like it.
True.
I really think it's a good cover.
Mhm.
Now I'm sorry I didn't pick it up.
And it's a 1 in 10, so that's not bad.
Yeah.
That usually makes it affordable.
Yep.
But this is one of those books that, I saw it, I liked it. I didn't feel the need to actually cough up the money for it like that. But at the same time, I think it's a great cover. I think Scarlet looks fantastic. I love the use of yellow with the negative space. Francis Portela did a fantastic job here.
Yeah, agreed.
All right. We got a few people that jumped in, and we got Kingdom of Nerds jumping in on your channel there. What's going on, Kingdom of Nerds? And it's Tone. Hey, Tone from Covrprice. What's going on, my man? Good seeing you. All right. Let's take a look at our next book and #4. And that's Daredevil 150. This book came out in 1978 from Marvel Comics. Last recorded sale is $10 near mint. Fair market value of this book is $12 at a fine and $101 at a 9.4. This book is extremely trending, with #3 in Key Collector, #2 in CBSI, #3 in Covrprice. The 30-day sales of this book is 28 sales. The hype level is at a high. This is the first appearance of Palladium. What can you tell me about this character?
So I think that this character, which I think it's Paladin.
Paladin, yes. I say Palladium.
It's okay. That's allowed. Supposedly will be in Vision Quest, and that's not really the only rumors we got for that show. So I'm actually getting a little excited for that. I loved the first Scarlet Witch show. I thought it was amazing.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to the next one.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. There is rumors that this character will be portrayed in Vision Quest. That's not the official name from what we heard of the show. And it's a show where our White Vision is now going to find himself. And we've been getting a lot of rumors of androids or AI characters in the movie, like Jocasta was one of them. Friday's another one we heard about. Edith. All these are characters that are really AI within like Iron Man robots. where, and of course Ultron is going to be part of the show. So this is the first time we got a character that's has nothing to do with AI, but he's kind of a mercenary hero for hire type of thing as well. I do remember him from Spider-Man.
Yes.
And that's about it. And we're talking about Todd McFarlane. He was in the McFarlane run of Spider-Man, which I do remember. He's a C-level character, so
He'll get killed by a robot.
yeah, he's probably gonna show up in like one episode or something like that, and that's that.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a nothing burger. You know what I mean? It's kind of like Leapfrog in She-Hulk. So. And $10 is a $10 book, so you know, might as well. It's a cool looking cover too. But there you have it. It is Daredevil 150, 35 center book way back in 1978. I wish comic books were 35 cents again.
Me too.
I don't even remember when they were 35 cents. When I was collecting comic books, they were 75 cents. That's the number I remember.
I used to go collect bottles and cans out of the ditch so I could take them to the store and buy a comic.
Yeah, exactly. All right, at number 3, there you are, the original Wolverine number 8, the Daniel Warren Johnson variant. This book came out in 2025 from Marvel Comics. The last recorded sale of the book was $68 near mint. Fair market value is $69. 9.8s are going for $173. This one came in number 7 in Covrprice with a 30-day hype sale of 83 sales. Hype level, of course, is a medium for this book. I think this book came back on the list simply because of the second printing.
Yeah, and I'm super happy to see it because I have 2 in my CGC pile that are going.
There you have it. That's why he's happy, because he has the book ready for grading. So
yeah, because I have it. I'm always happy when I have the book. Izzy.
I agree. I'm with you on that. I have my copy as well, and I love I personally love the red letter in the background.
I do too.
I will say the barcode in the bottom is a little distracting, and it does hurt it a little bit. But the lettering in the back of his head, I think that's fine to me. I don't like the way the barcode looks. They could have, put it in the back of the comic book. If you ask me, that's just my personal opinion.
They do it all the time.
Yeah, they do it all the time. This was one of those moments that it would have worked. It's not even off-centered. That's what's weird to me. That it's not even in the center of it all. It's just like, let's just throw that in there. And that's it. And that's exactly what they did. Okay. Now we're going to talk a little bit about this Black Panther issue, because at number 2, you got Marvel Knights, The World to Come, number 1. This book came out in 2025 for Marvel Comics. $35 near mint, as was the last recorded sale. $34 is the fair market value. $100 for a 9.8. That's a pre-sale. They don't exist. There are no 9.8s at the moment, because the book just came out last week. Number 2 in Covrprice with a 30-day sales of 103 recorded sales. This book is at a high, which leads me to talk a little bit more about the next book, because we're going to talk about it together. At number 1 is the same exact book. The only difference is that it's white. Just like the character that we're going to talk about. The Joe Quesada 1 per store variant also came on 2025 last week with a high sale of $70, even though the fair market value is $80. This book is climbing up to about $100. By the time we finish this video, this book is going to be at $100 because of all the discussions. So near mint are going for $80, 9.8s are going for $170. On the trendy list, look at this. This is what I'm talking about. Number 10 in Key Collector, that didn't make much sense to me. Number 1 in CBSI, number 1 in Covrprice, 30-day sales, 221 issues were sold in the aftermarket. That's not including what was sold at the shops. Hype level is at a high. Let's talk about this character. Spoiler alert, because it's all over the place. We got ourselves a white Black Panther. What's up with that? I said it, and I said it.
Oh.
What's going on here? What do you think's going on?
What is happening at Marvel is what I want to know. So is it a stunt to try to get publicity? Is this going to be somehow like twisted and legit, because both of the women in those two Avengers issues, I believe, are African American women. So I don't get it, Izzy. I don't understand. I besides attention, I don't know what the deal is
Well,
here.
it's definitely attention. So Joe Quesada, who is doing the art on the book, so that's something that's important to know. It's his return to Marvel Comics. We talked a little bit about this last week when we talked about this book as an honorable mention. However, the discussion of the character and the story that's being told by Christopher Priest is that there's a new Black Panther who fought T'Challa for the role. And at the end of the book, because it's at the very end, the last panel, he reveals himself, turns out to be T'Challa's son. So therefore, he's not fully white. He's at least partially black, right? He's half black as far as we know. Could come from South Africa for all we know. And it turns out that this is the new Black Panther, which raised a lot of questions to a lot of people, especially because everybody talks about gender swap. They talk about woke comics. They talk about, all this stuff. And now what Joe Quesada and Christopher Priest is doing is like, oh, you know what? Let's do it the other way around and see what it does. Because it did start something. Like I said, you have other organizations, other groups talking about this comic book that don't talk about this comic book. And the reason being is because there's rumors that Ryan Gosling's going to join the MCU, and they're saying that he's going to be the new Black Panther. Of course, that's just a joke, and it's become a meme that Ryan Gosling is now your Black Panther.
Yeah. I mean, hey, if that's what they wanted, mission accomplished. I haven't read this book yet, so I don't know exactly what's going on. But like you said, it's the last panel, so we'll really have to wait till the second one, and maybe beyond that. I think this is a 4-issue series.
I believe it's 6 issues.
So maybe we'll find out before the end of the 4th, or they'll just spin it into another series with the brand new number 1 and have to make us buy all that. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so this is one of those situations where I know that they wanted to stir the pot. That's all this was. This was their attempt to saying, how can we get eyes on this book? And this was how they did it. And to the comments coming on there, I'm not trying to say it's a woke issue. I'm trying to say that this is kind of like in response to woke. That's what I'm saying. I personally don't give a damn, to be honest with you. But what I do understand is last time we had some kind of, I guess you could say, controversy in Marvel Comics was when we had Hydra Captain, if you remember that. No. Where everybody started talking about that. Oh my goodness, Captain America's a Hydra agent. And then they try to pull it off that he always was, which was the stupidest thing in the world to do. It was like, really? Really, really. And it was from Nick Spencer, so he didn't think that much. He didn't think that hard. But this is the exact same situation where what we want to do is we want to pull you in with something that's going to shock you. But the reality of it is that are you gonna pay it off in some way? Yeah. That's the real question. So the real question is, what is the meaning behind what you are writing? And right. Christopher Priest is one of those writers. He does have a tendency to be a little bit controversial in his writing, but he's also been really good at his writing because he is responsible for the Marvel Knights Black Panther series, the original one that came out back in the early 2000s. So there is hope here, but it's a wait and see situation. But it did cause this book to skyrocket it. Once people started hearing about it, then people started talking about it, and it got people to the shops. If it got people to the shops to buy comic books, I'm all for it. The thing is, how you going to keep them in the shops? That's my real question. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there you have it, guys. Your number 1 book is the white I love saying it. It just cracks me up. The white cover of Marvel Knights, The World to Come, the Quesada 1 per store variant. Shane, I let this book slip by my hands. I had it in my hands, and I passed.
Shame on you.
You know what I'm saying? Did I just do a Turtles moment? Did I have a Turtles moment there?
Hopefully not as bad as a Turtles moment.
No, it probably won't be as bad. But I do have the original. That I do have, but I don't have this one. But with that said, guys, let me know what you think. Which books do you have from this list? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and stay tuned for next week's ranking. Let's see if White Black Panther returns, which he probably will. So there you have it, guys.